is open 7 days a week at 752 West 23rd Street, down from Academy Sports. It can always be reached at InstantReplaySportsCards.com. Celebrating 60 years in business? That boot store must be doing something right. How about one of the largest Western collections in the area? Carhartt work clothes, affordable prices, and absolutely the best personal service you'll find anywhere. These are just a few reasons that boot store is celebrating 60 years in business. Stop in today. Open Tuesday through Thursday, 9 till 5. Friday and Saturday, 9 till 5:30. Next to Bill Burr Kia 15th Street in Panama City. That boot store, where God is good all the time.
1, 2.
I'm in love with a man named Rudy. I'm okay with that. He knows exactly what I want. Keeps me coming back. He cooks breakfast, lunch, and dinner for me. Does the dishes too. I'm in love with a man named Rudy. Last name Barbecue. It sure is easy to fall in love with Rudy's tasty oak smoked barbecue.
Next in line.
There is a cat overpopulation issue in the Panama City area, and these cats suffer so many hardships and illnesses, it's heartbreaking. Most are easily treated if caught in time.
Upper respiratory issues have been the biggest ones this year. This causes eye infections that may result in ruptured eyes and even blindness. We also see broken legs, resulting in disability and even amputation. A vision-impaired cat with limited mobility has a grim existence on the street.
Every day, Hillary and her team at Kibbles and Cobra's Animal Welfare Group are on the front lines of the cat overpopulation issue. Your team has been an incredible asset to the community and a voice for the voiceless.
It is a constant battle. The message we need to get out there is to spay and neuter. Whether it be your pet or community stray, TNVR helps tremendously in many, many ways, overpopulation being number one.
Follow Hillary Slayton on Facebook and be a part of the solution to the feline overpopulation issue in Northwest Florida.
If you're worried your friend may be struggling, remember, you don't have to be there to be there.
You can say, how are you, or get a fake tattoo. You can ask with an app if it works for you. You could chat on the game, kick off your flip-flops. You can ask on your couch while you binge watch. Whatever did you talking?
Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and the JED Foundation.
WPLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX Lynn, powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's the next evolution of sports talk radio. The biggest stories and the biggest reactions.
Now.
And now we're taking
With the first pick.
This is the last ball you got to bat.
the Inside Drive. From college to the pros, interviews with the newsmakers, sports betting, your phone calls, and more. And now, the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And good Monday morning. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. As always, 104.3 in Panama City Beach, 101.9 in Port St. Joe. You can watch us on Facebook, X, and YouTube. Just search ESPN Northwest Florida. And of course, last but not least, download that free mobile app inside the Google Play or Apple Store. That one you do need to just search 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. No Jay today, but that's okay. He spent some time over there in Orlando, and the Magic got the dub for him against the Raptors, so that was pretty cool. And he actually didn't do too bad in our pick'em, but he got double the points on that, so it was interesting. We got a cool guest coming up at 11:20. Want to give a shout out to Chris Fall for making that connection, but we'll have Chad Folsom. He's the head coach of the Lady Raptors at Benedictine College, an NAIA school that's had some pretty tremendous success. But one of the cool things about Mr. Chad, Coach Chad, he was part of the Grinnell team that they did a documentary on and kind of changed somehow college basketball is played with really the introduction of the run and gun offense. So excited to talk to him coming up at the next break. And obviously we're going to dive into the NCAA tournament as the brackets are official, and which teams are down the bubble that didn't get in, which teams got screwed, and we'll see how the rest of the bracket all shakes out. One of the cool things right here on ESPN Northwest Florida is that we do have our own bracket challenge that we are very, very excited about. And the brackets are up, and you have until first games will be on Thursday. So I think you got till probably about Wednesday night to get that, or Thursday morning.
You got till the first game. Once it tips, you're locked up.
And first game's probably about 11 o'clock our time-ish.
11:15. Coverage will start at 11.
There you go. And one of those things, we will not be on the air Thursday and Friday as you have first-round tournament games going on, and it's that time of year. And hopefully you were able to watch some of that college basketball this weekend, because there were some wild conference tournaments. Not very many number one teams or seeds in those conference tournaments actually got the dub in that one, so it was very interesting. Also, the Players' Championship came to a finish, and Scotty Scheffler made some history there, that is for sure. We'll get to a poll question here momentarily, because I don't have Jay to give me a poll question today. So if you got a poll question for us, give us a text, 850-215-6290, and we'll put it up there on the air, because we don't have Jay's crazy brain to tell us where to pull one from today. I could do something like, what do you like better, the NCAA March Madness tournament or, the college football playoff? But Jay always comes up something more fun to do in the bathroom. So if you got a good one for us, give us a call, 850, or give us a text, 850-215-6290. Some of the local scores from this past Friday, and we even had some games on Saturday. You had several teams in action on Friday. On baseball side of things, you had Clay versus Mosley. Mosley lost in that one 3-2. I don't think I reported the scores from Thursday either, as Arnold stayed undefeated last Thursday and beat Clay 2-1. Bozeman lost in softball last Thursday 8-0. Knoxville Central, sounds like they're out of Tennessee, beat North Bay Haven 5-4. In varsity baseball, Arnold stayed undefeated last Thursday with an 11-0 victory, they're now 11-0. They had a 1-0 victory, barn burner there, close game against South Walton. That was at home in Arnold. And then Bay lost to Clinton 13-6 in softball. Vernon beat Rutherford 16-0 in softball, and then Anderson County beat Bay High 11-9 last Thursday. Again, I don't think I hit Friday with the local score, so I want to make sure I got those in there. And then, as I mentioned, Clay beat Mosley 3-2 on Friday. North Bay Haven beat Destin 11-0 in baseball. Satellite beat Rutherford 14-0, and then Newberry gave Bozeman their first loss of the season. They're both now Bozeman's now 9-1 after losing to Newberry, who improved to 9-1. On Saturday, we had a couple local games. Varsity baseball, Mosley played Magnolia Heights, won that one 4-1. Rutherford played Rockledge, who's now 12-0. Rutherford's got just a tough baseball schedule with all these teams they're playing. They lost that one 9-2. David Hayes, how you doing today?
Wonderful, my friend. How about yourself?
Doing good. Came in a little hot today.
Yes, sir.
Rearranged some of the appointments just to try to make it without spring break. Kids aren't in school, and whenever you got to be somewhere quickly, none of the lights seem to cooperate with you. But we made it here with about a minute to spare. So
not even a full minute.
Not even a full minute to spare. So that was some good stuff. But we got quite a few. I was looking at the bracket earlier, and I think we've got over 30 people so far signed up for the ESPN Northwest Florida Big Bracket Challenge. If you want to sign up for that, all you got to do is you can check out our Facebook page. It has been shared on there, but you can also just go to espnpc.com, click on that Big Bracket Challenge, and they'll get yourself signed up. If you already have an ESPN Fantasy account, that's really easy. If you don't, all you got to do is make an ESPN Fantasy account, which is also really easy. But just head on over to our website and sign up for that bad boy. We want to see how many people out there. And there's some cool prizes. I know it's sponsored locally by several of our local sponsors. I don't have it right here in front of me, but there will be some opportunity to win some stuff as well. And just see what you know, because there's going to be upsets. And if the conference championship tournaments were anything to do or any indication of how this NCAA tournament is going to go, there'll certainly be some upsets. That is for sure. Any poll questions yet, David?
Like you want me to come?
Oh no! Did anybody send one?
I'll check.
If they did, we'll rock it. If not, we'll just keep that open there if anybody wants to send in a poll question.
Not yet.
Not yet. We'll text us 850-215-6290 and make sure it's something along the lines of, something Jay would think about.
Does it matter where the cheese is on your sandwich?
Ooh. Like layering wise?
Yeah, so the other day I was making a chicken salad sandwich and had some pepper jack cheese on it. And I made the sandwich and I always put the cheese on top.
Yeah.
And then when I lifted the sandwich to my mouth, I guess I flipped it or something.
So the cheese was on the bottom.
So the cheese was on the bottom, and I was like, this is weird that, like, I prefer the cheese on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was thinking, like, I don't like this as much. So then I turned the sandwich right back around, and normally I don't have those little
nuances, so to speak.
Yeah, normally it's like, whatever, more than one way to skin a cat, and I'll skin that cat however. But with the cheese, I like it on the top.
Yeah, no, interesting. I guess that would impact the flavor profile of your bite because of where you're getting the cheese. I mean, you would think when you're taking a bite with the cheese on the bottom, the cheese is hitting your tongue quicker, I don't know, versus it being on the top.
Yeah, maybe so.
So it changes that initial flavor bite?
Especially with a pepper jack.
Yeah.
Bite down into that spice.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like that pepper jack on the chicken salad. That's good stuff. But yeah,
and a lot of hot sauce too. It probably nullifies all the.
Yes, yeah. Your
it's
whole
like,
cheese.
There's already some sodium in here. Let's add some more.
Yep. Hey, that sodium's good though. That's for sure. But yeah, there you go. There's a poll question. Does your cheese? And this is referring to sandwiches. I guess you could say it could refer to a burger as well, or like a chicken, like a grilled chicken sandwich. Yeah,
absolutely.
Does the cheese have to always go on top of the meat or the protein, or can it be anywhere? That's a good one. I like that. That would definitely be one out of the mind of Jay Henley. That is for sure. That is for sure. I got a cool. It's a story, and it had to do. And I appreciate Chris Fall and one of his families that play travel ball with him. They had a big tournament in Panama City this weekend over St. Patty's Day, and I saw him post about this. And I'll say there was a family involved that plays on Chris's travel teams, and they got in a really bad car wreck on the way to this travel ball game, and it was 100% the other driver's fault. I'm not going to mention any names or anything like that, and thankfully everyone from the family was okay. But reading what Chris said with this story is, he just wanted to share a quick story from travel ball today. The ex-family got in a bad wreck. Other driver got a ticket, and 100% their fault. On the way to the travel today. Thankfully, everyone was okay. As a coach, I said, don't worry about it. Get to the hospital. Lo and behold, they walked through the door and asked the coach if it was the right call and are you sure? He said the boys needed to get their minds off the bad wreck. The three brothers played against each other, and at least for an hour, the wreck was a distant memory. Seeing all three of them laugh, smile, and talk trash to each other was fun. Sports isn't always about who is the best or playing for a ship. That game was therapy for three kids and parents who got in a really bad wreck and used basketball to keep their kids mentally good today. Props are coming in, and I'm so happy they're okay. Just remind myself that in the 3 years when this memory pops up, our guys are playing varsity travel ball, and that's just not always about the dub. So, we talk a lot about different things with how sports and life are just so connected, but there's another example, something that, nobody ever wants to be involved in, and that's a car accident, and using the sports, not just about trying to win and get better, but just as a quote-unquote distraction. I thought that was just a pretty cool story of what sports can do.
Oh, yeah, man. It's very powerful. And that story is powerful as well. The therapeutic side of it, and not just for the boys, but for the entire family as well. And, kudos to them for being able to do that, because sometimes those are one of those things that can kind of derail your whole day, but you stay steadfast and continue to do what you had planned, and I think that you're better off in the long run for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, of course, being okay is number one, but once you're checked out by paramedics and all that stuff, you're rocking and rolling. So good stuff. We'll dive into a lot of college basketball today, but maybe we'll talk a little bit about the Players Championship here. Go ahead, David.
Well, we got a couple of answers to the poll, and not even on Facebook. They're texting in about it. We've got one from our buddy. Oh man, I'm trying to remember his name. Jeff. because I don't have it saved in the system. That's the only reason why. Cheese always on top. If it is a burger, it has to be partially melted. Then we got one from Robbie, which is so funny that he brings this up because my Meemaw is the same exact way. He says, does the mayo have to go on the cheese side and mustard on the protein side? He says he has to. Me, I can just lather it up either which way. Doesn't much matter. I'll put mayonnaise and mustard on both sides of it. But my Meemaw is like, I don't know if it's cheese or protein side, but she has to have mayonnaise on one certain side and
on
mustard.
the opposite.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. So your condiments, your sauces, so to speak, can be however, but your cheese has to be on top.
Well, I mean, I still find myself eating it, upside down sometimes or whatever. But it is one of those things that as soon as I take that bite, I'm like, it just don't hit the same. It just doesn't hit the same. But I don't want to, start getting into the paths of OCD or anything.
Hey, apparently that was a good one. A cheese placement is an important thing.
And maybe I already am OCD and I'm just trying to fight it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, don't bite it. Just let it happen.
Let it be.
Just let it be. A couple things for the Players Championship real quick. Obviously, if you saw it and watched Scotty Scheffler, and you got a dub there with old Scotty.
5 down?
5 down, and starts his round off with not start his round, but his first movement towards the winning was an eagle on the fourth when he holed out that one. But a couple fun facts. Scotty Scheffler was the first ever back-to-back Players Champion in the 50-year tournament history. And also one thing that his, at least going back 50 years, there has never been on the PGA Tour where you had a first and second the prior week that repeated first and second the next week, whereas Scotty Scheffler was first at Bay Hill and Wyndham Clark was second at Bay Hill. The same exact thing happened there at the Players Championship. So at least going back 50 years worth of records, that had not happened before on the PGA Tour.
That is absolutely amazing. Just the fact him going back to back, and then you add in that 1 and 2 statistic, just absolutely awesome. And I tuned in. I got a notification because I was watching at that point. I was watching the race.
Yeah.
I was watching the race, and so I got a notification that Scotty. Hey, but Ty Gibbs was having himself a race too. So I was really pulling more for Ty Gibbs than I was Denny Hamlin. But that's the second time this year I've picked a winner, dude. I'm betting on the wrong sports.
I know. You should just be parlaying a NASCAR winner. Just bet Hamlin every week and then just roll it over. I mean, phew.
There you go.
Yeah, you picked the right one. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. And then so I tuned into the Players Championship, and it was Scotty was just getting on to 18, so it was getting right there in the perfect time for drama. And man, you feel bad for Blake Harmon because if he doesn't hit it into the pine straw right there, who knows what could happen. I was slightly pulling for a playoff, but at the other time I was like, give me those points.
Yeah,
pick 'em means everything.
Yeah, it does. Pick 'em above everything else, except for one thing, that's for sure. Yeah. But I mean, did you see Wyndham Clark's lip out? When he had basically the final putt to potentially tie Scotty.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, I've seen a lot of lip outs on the PGA Tour, and just golf in general, but I can't remember a more brutal lip out with that moment. That putt goes in, he's going to a playoff to potentially win the Players. That ball was almost halfway below the surface of that cup. I mean,
you can't get partial points.
I know, right? A half boy still wouldn't have got him enough, though. But yeah, I mean, that's being able to handle that situation. And when that ball looks like it's about to fall in twice, he thought it was going to go in before it got to the hole, and then he thought it was going to go in when he saw it falling in, and it came right back out. But kudos to Wyndham Clark for fighting all the way there, and just that performance by Scotty Scheffler, 64 on Sunday at Sawgrass is with no bogeys. That's tough. We're starting to draw some comparisons now with what Scotty Scheffler's doing and what Tiger was doing back in the early 2000s.
Would you say that this is the closest that we've
by
gotten
far
to? Because I know we've had the Rory and even the John Rahm, but I don't think that there's ever, like, the thing is it doesn't matter really as long as he's steady Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, you cannot put any eggs in your basket, because if he's playing,
if he's floating around, and that's what he does. I mean, and this time he was even playing with he hurt his neck in that first round, and I honestly thought he wasn't going to be able to contend, and just going ahead and win another tournament. I was really trying to find hard this morning, like a comparison of Tiger Woods through the same point of his career as Scottie Scheffler, but I haven't been able to find that. But if we'll talk about it a little bit later on. But Scottie's now got 8 career wins. He only needs 74 more to catch Tiger Woods. Long way to go on that one. But he's played in 118 events on the PGA Tour and has made $53,504,724. And in comparison to Tiger Woods, who's made $120.9 million, 374 events. So Scottie, as far as like money-wise and events he's played in, he's kind of keeping pace with what Tiger's doing. Now, granted, the purses weren't nearly as big back in the day when Tiger was kind of in his heyday in that 2000 to 2006 time frame.
Well, not a huge comparison here as far, or not huge, but not as a detailed comparison. But if you just take a look at Tiger Woods in 2001, Scottie Scheffler 2024, both of them won the Arnold Palmer Invitational at 15 under. Then at the Players, they won after a 6-shot. Tiger won after a 6-shot, 36-hole deficit. Same way with Scottie Scheffler. Tiger Woods in 2001 won his second Masters. What does the future hold for Scottie Scheffler?
I know. He could be donning that green jacket, that's for sure. I mean, he did it in 2022, so might as well do it again. But that's the thing. He turned pro in 2020, really got on the PGA Tour in 21-22, and he won 4 times that first year. He won the Waste Management Phoenix Open, won the Bay Hill, or the Arnold Palmer Invitational. He won the Match Play, that's the Dell World, and he won the Masters that year. So he won 4 tournaments that first year. 2 years ago, he won the Waste Management Phoenix Open back-to-back years, won the 2023 Players Championship, and then this year, so far, he's won Bay Hill and the Players Championship in back-to-back weeks. So I got to imagine he's going to be an overwhelming favorite going to Augusta here soon.
Yeah, but even at a favorite, they're plus, ain't they?
Oh, yeah, always.
Oh, yeah.
But that's the tough thing, because you got so many in the field. But, I mean, I'm anxious to talk to Keith on Wednesday. Like, how can you leave Scottie Scheffler out of your DK lineups going forward?
I don't think that you can.
Unless you work the rest of those 5 guys in where it pays off. Because, I mean, if you had like Scheffler and Schauffele, I mean, it was impossible. It was impossible. I mean, Xander, he's so close. He just doesn't. I mean, they both had opportunities. Him and Brian Harman had chances.
They both went into the pine straw, too, didn't they?
On 18. Yeah, it's just such a. And Scottie Scheffler absolutely piped one on that hole. And
yes, he did.
He's just playing a different level of golf than everybody, that's for sure. But yeah, fun to watch. We'll dive more into that later on today. Hopefully, we have Chad Folsom coming up in the next segment. We're talking to him about Benedictine College. He is the head coach of the Ladies Raptors. And real quick before we hit the break, got to remind everybody about the QB Vision Gulf Coast Pro Style Camp Series coming up. That's going to be at Emerald Coast Middle School out there in the Santa Rosa Beach area. That's going to be Saturday, March 30th. It's open to quarterbacks, wide receivers, tight ends, grades 5th through 12. You just go to qbvision.net/camps to register, and I can tell you from personal experience, if you've got a quarterback or a wide receiver, tight end that you're looking to get better, there's not a better opportunity right here in our own backyard to do that. You guys listen to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll be right back. ESPN Northwest Florida has your chance to win a pair of tickets to the Geico 500. Starting Monday, March 25th, join Coach Hale mornings at 7:15 and 8:15 to enter. The Race to Talladega. Then at 12:15 and 5:15, listen for your name called. If we announce your name, race to the phones. How long it takes you to call 850-215-6290 is your qualifying time. The fastest qualifying times win a pair of tickets to Talladega, right here from ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. For this afternoon and evening, mostly sunny and a high of 69 with wind 13 to 17 miles per hour out of the northwest. Clear skies tonight, a blustery wind and cool near 43. Sunny and 60 tomorrow with a wind coming out of the north at 8 miles per hour. 66 and mostly sunshine with a light breeze at 5 miles per hour Wednesday. This is your Monday's weather brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Take
Take your next adventure in an award-winning Kia from Bill Bird Kia. We invite you to stop by Bill Bird Kia today and test drive a new 2024 Kia. You'll see why everyone is talking about Kia. The 2024 Kia will give you the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. The SUV family has movement that inspires. Drive away today in a new 2024 Kia Soul, Seltos, Sportage, Sorento, or Telluride. Fuel the thrill and command the road in a luxury sedan from Bill Bird Kia. Drive away today in a new 2024 Kia K5. Performance, power, and design built just for you. Discover the new Kia at Bill Bird Kia. Bill Bird Kia, the original home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by 2435 East 15th Street, Panama City, or anytime at BillBirdKiaPanamaCity.com. We'll treat you just like family and give you the peace of mind you can trust. Your local community dealer is Bill Bird Kia.
The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty.
Welcome to the Inside Drive, the next big thing.
It's a big, huge, giant deal.
Sports betting, huge reactions, your calls and real-time coverage of the stories you're following. Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. I haven't been able to get Chad Folsom on the line. I know we are trying to get in touch with his office phone number over there at Benedictine College. We have him a message. If he gives us a call back, we'll definitely get him on the line. But if not, I think it's time to jump into a little of this NCAA March Madness, as we have a lot coming up here on ESPN Northwest Florida. As I mentioned in the first segment, the Inside Drive will not be on the air Thursday and Friday as March Madness officially gets underway. And as Jay learned, it is called The Dance, and they will be dancing they'll be dancing earlier this week to get those playing games, but we'll have first and second round coverage live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. That'll be running all the way through Sunday. We'll return to normal programming on Monday, and then coming up next week, it'll be time for some Sweet 16 and Elite 8 matchups Thursday through Sunday of next week. And then following that week, we'll have the two Final Four games, followed by the championship game, both for the men's and women's. So exciting stuff there. Lots of good programming right here on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Oh, yeah, lots of good stuff. And next Thursday, right after the Inside Drive, we will have the Atlanta Braves and the Philadelphia Phillies for opening day.
Whew, man, it's all just coming together.
I know.
Opening day is already coming up.
This time of the year is tough, like as far as the programming.
Yeah, no, you're working those mouse clicks. That's for sure. Trying to get all this stuff lined up for our listeners out there.
That's what we need to do. Randy, start paying me by click.
Yeah, pay per click. Not only is it a way to advertise, but it's also a way to get paid.
I'll do a penny per click, son.
You better get to clicking. You better get to clicking. Oh, that's for sure. But were you able to watch a good bit of the basketball this weekend?
I didn't. No.
So you're filling in for Jay. So that's good.
Yeah, there you go. Well, no, I watched more than what I had planned to.
Yeah.
I watched a little bit of the SEC championship. I watched Alabama and Florida, and then kind of just watched the headlines or the highlights. And one of the things so in past years, I've really tried to pay attention in conference championship, and all it does is ruin my brackets, because it's like I start thinking I'm like, man, I watched this team, I know what it is, and then no, let me just go in like I don't know nothing, and I'll pick off the daggum jerseys.
Yeah. No, I mean, and I'll talk about some of these conference championships real quick, and you can, I think you even said, or somebody said, and it might have been Brad Law when we talked to him last Wednesday, that the NCAA, the selection committee for these brackets really does not seem to matter who wins these conference championships, because I'll use Auburn as an example. Staying a 4 seed and getting put in the bracket where they may have to play a very, very tough San Diego State team in the second round and then having to go through UConn was interesting. But we do have a caller on the line. Jeff, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, guys.
Excellent. Well, appreciate you giving us a call. And what do you got for us?
Well, I mean, last time we've had a repeat champion in college basketball was Florida, 16, 17 years ago.
Yeah, 07, 08-ish. Yeah, absolutely.
Horford and all that. And, UConn won last year. And look at them this year, and just planting a little seed right there that this is the best chance for somebody to repeat, in my opinion, since Duke in 91 and 92. I mean, because we didn't really see Florida coming that first year, you know?
Yeah.
Because they were like a 4 seed, I think it was, or 5.
Absolutely.
And this is the best opportunity for a repeat. And, yeah, and I watched a lot of the college basketball this weekend. It was crazy because, you know, everybody was picking all the favorites, and then actually the morning show was not, actually. But they didn't pick Auburn. They picked Alabama and...
Shocking.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I mean, but it wasn't just Coach Hale. It was the other guys, too. They were picking... Who is it they picked? They picked Alabama and somebody else.
Like Kentucky?
Yeah, because of Wildcat, yep.
Yeah, because of Wildcat. Yeah, I guess they are biased. I'm sorry. But the thing is, I was picking Tennessee, and I was like, man, these guys aren't even talking about Tennessee because the way they've been playing lately. And then Auburn just comes out, and what do? I mean, they beat Florida to bloody pulp in that beginning of the second half. They just beat them bad. And I was in a place where there was a bunch of Auburn fans, and they just looked like they had won the Super Bowl because they don't have so much to celebrate.
Hey, no, we understand that.
When was the last time Auburn won the SEC? Like 99, right?
2019 is when they won and that's the year they went to the Final Four and lost to, I forget who they lost to on that crazy,
they lost to Virginia.
End of the game play. Yeah.
They stole that, the last play.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
And I'm not an Auburn fan, don't get me wrong, but fair is fair. That shouldn't have been a whatever it was. It wasn't a foul.
I forget. It was,
I don't know, something to do with clock.
Yeah, something like that. I was trying to remember yesterday because I am, you know, we have Brad Law and the Auburn guys on. My wife's an Auburn girl, so I kind of dove into Auburn pretty good. But yeah, I was in Biloxi when that happened and was riding a pretty good run through the tournament for them because I was there for a golf event. And then
Auburn could have turned around and beat Texas Tech in the final.
Oh yeah,
Auburn. We could be really talking about like Auburn has a title right now and they don't.
Yep. Pretty wild and pretty crazy stuff. But yeah, and you know, I was kind of talking to David briefly, and not to stay on Auburn, but you know, they win the conference championship in dominating fashion nonetheless. I mean, arguably that when they lost to Tennessee, it was a tough loss, but they played a good game and just Dalton Knecht just got on fire in that second half. And they've been on a heck of a run beating teams all the way through this conference championship and didn't even move them outside of the number 4 seed spot. So people are like, why even play in the conference championship if they were going to be a 4 seed either way? I mean, you risk getting hurt and all that kind of stuff. You got it, David?
I'm looking it up right now. I'm watching the video.
Oh, yeah, to see what happened.
Give me about a minute.
No, you're good.
So were they supposed to be the 5, though? Were they supposed to be a 5 seed in the tournament?
Well,
or were they supposed to really be a 4?
Most of the bracketology was saying that they were a 4. If they lost in that first matchup in the quarterfinal game, they were saying that they potentially could have slipped to a 5. But a lot of the people were saying going into the conference final, the championship game yesterday, that if they won, they would likely slip into a 3 seed because you had teams like Kentucky and Duke and, you know, some of these other teams losing in their conference tournaments, but just goes to show you that maybe the conference tournament doesn't matter quite as much.
Well, apparently it doesn't because, look, all the, like, Houston lost, Tennessee lost, North Carolina lost. All these teams are dropping, and I was like, wow, this whole tournament's up for grabs this year. It really is.
About getting back to your point about UConn, I mean, UConn looked good in their conference championship and obviously been playing some really good. And we talked about it weeks ago, and then, of course, we talked about it the next day. I think they lost, but they were riding one of the longest winning streaks in the country and are obviously certainly playing some really good basketball going into this tournament. So are you a go ahead, sorry.
I'm an LSU fan.
Okay.
But, I mean, you know, we're, you know how we are.
Hey, you never know. You never know. But, so are you a big college basketball fan, like going to watch as many tournament games as you can, or are you only going to watch kind of the big ones you're looking forward to?
You know what? It's kind of like I'll watch games that are interesting. I might not watch it from the beginning. But, you know, as soon as things get interesting, I mean, heck, I'll watch Yale and Brown because that was the big game this weekend.
Yeah. And that's another tough draw for Auburn is they have to play Yale in the first round, who's really not that bad. No, I did not hear what happened. I missed that one.
So there's 25 seconds left, and Brown is, I'm trying to remember what seed they were. I think it was a 5 seed. They're 13-17 record, okay? So losers, right? Brown's up by 6 points with 25 seconds.
Oh, man.
Now, who do you think won?
Yeah, obviously, you would think Brown won.
Yeah, but Yale not only won, they won in regulation. How the hell do you lose a 6-point lead with 25 seconds?
That sounds like everything's got to go exactly right for you.
Yeah.
Man.
And so that was the big game of the weekend. And it's so crazy because it's the Ivy League, you know?
Yep. Well, and that's kind of what's cool about college basketball is, you know, you have, obviously, football, we relate around the power conferences, but basketball, you've got so many Division I conferences involved in the tournament that you get some really great basketball games from teams that you may not, you know, think of or household names and stuff like that.
Yeah. And, you know, Jay Bilas was on earlier. Well, I mean, you know, it's a national program is what he was on. And the names that he was dropping was like Drake, you know, McNeese to maybe upset Gonzaga. I mean, we're talking about unusual names that, you know, they could be the next Butler or Gonzaga. We don't know. You know?
Yeah, and it's going to happen. You're going to have those teams that are going to make these crazy Cinderella runs, and that's just what's so part of the so fun and part of the tournament. But you know, it's the people who can figure out which teams those are going to be that do well in those brackets. But who do you pick? And you know, is it you think it's UConn's to lose, or do you think there's another maybe sleeper team out there that can make a run?
I think it's UConn, and I didn't look how the regionals meet up in the Final Four, but my backup is Houston, and then of course North Carolina is going to be in it.
Yeah.
I don't see Purdue making the Final Four. I think as soon as the center is eliminated, the outside shooting is not there. It's not good enough, and that sounds bad. I'm not trying to knock, because I always knock the Big Ten. You know, I hate them. But I don't see Purdue. I mean, they lost first round last year. I just don't see them as being a tournament team. When the pressure's on, Purdue cracks, and that's why I'm not picking them in their bracket.
Yeah, now that they've definitely seemed to do that all year. Now, getting back to Houston, I mean, we talked about the conference tournaments not mattering as much, but what do you think about Iowa State limiting them to only 41 points in a conference final, a championship game for the Big 12? I mean, that's impressive in itself.
Okay, so let's start off with what the stats were before that game. Houston was the number one defense in the nation.
Yep.
They're not a shooting team. They were up 29-13 at one point in that game. And Iowa State went on a 12-0 run to make it close. Then Houston pulled away a little bit again, and then Iowa State just took over. And if you looked at the first half of the game, you were like, Houston is just like unstoppable. But it's really their defense that's their driver. And, you know, another team's got to get hot on them to beat them. And that's why I'm picking them to go into the Final Fours. And you know what? The Big 12, all these teams, Longhorns, Sooners, whoever, they all been talking trash about Houston thinks they're going to come in and dominate our conference. And guess what they did?
Yeah.
They came in and dominated the Big 12.
Yep.
That's impressive.
It's just wild that they go from the semifinal game beating Texas Tech 82-59, and they scored half those points, 41 total points against Iowa State, who scored 69 points. So maybe Iowa State's, I mean, I think they're a 2 seed or maybe a 3 seed in the tournament. I can't remember off the top of my head, but maybe there's a team that has got some confidence as well and playing well. And one more question for you on the with NC State. I mean, here's a fun fact for you. NC State at Capital One Arena, which is the home of the Washington Wizards. Washington Wizards are 4-26 in Capital One Arena. NC State has more wins at Capital One Arena this year than the Washington Wizards did, as they went 5-0 in the ACC tournament and winning that
look,
thing.
They beat Duke, Virginia, and North Carolina.
Yeah.
In 5 days. And you know when they're playing? They play Thursday.
Yep.
They got them on the first day. These guys are worn out.
Or maybe they're just going to keep the run going. I mean, that big fella, I forget his name. He's fun to watch down low. That guy's a monster. But I mean, that was just, you know, one of the more improbable runs there in the tournament. You know, the number 10 seed coming into the tournament and taking down Louisville, which obviously Louisville had a really bad year, but then beating Syracuse, like I said, beating Duke, beating Virginia, and then beating North Carolina in the championship. But you got to think for teams like that aren't your top programs in this year, year, that's got to help for the tournament.
And that's the only reason I think that the conference tournaments are still around, because like you said, how do you win the SEC and still remain a 4 seed and Bama's still sitting? Like, if any team should have dropped, it should have been Alabama, especially like you've been dismantled by Florida the last 2 times. And then how do you not look at that win against Florida and give some more credit to Auburn for as hot as Florida was?
Yeah, it was. And I know a lot of other Auburn fans, and they were all kind of in the same sentiment. Like, wait, what just happened? We're still a 4 seed, and we're in the East. We got to go all the way to Spokane, Washington to play. Come on, we're the SEC champs. But yeah, it kind of gets back.
Well, I watched the Gators this year in regular season, and Clayton was a star.
Oh yeah.
And then in the tournament, this other guy stepped up and scored 20 or 23 points, and everybody's looking at that guy.
Yeah.
And Clayton doesn't seem to be his normal hot self, at least yesterday. But I don't know. I'm not impressed by these guys.
Yeah, they were good at home. Obviously, a lot of teams are really good at home. But yeah, when it kind of came down to it, and where are they in the bracket? I got to pull up a bracket. They're so hard to see because they're so small.
Top right. Well, not top right, but that top right regional.
Yeah.
It should be the way the bracket is set up.
There they are. Yeah, they're going against the winner of Boise State and Colorado.
Yeah, I don't believe in either of those teams. So they'll go to the 3rd round, and then they'll play a tough 5 seed, and then maybe they get to see the 1, you know?
Yep, absolutely. But a lot of... Go ahead.
One thing.
Yeah.
So the Iowa-LSU women's national championship last year.
Yes.
And I told Brian over there at the radio station that, hey, I bet you LSU ends up in the Iowa region. And guess what ended up happening?
They're in the Iowa region.
Yeah, and so they'll be meeting each other because UCLA cannot beat LSU in women's.
Gotcha.
So they'll be playing in the Final 8, and that's going to be the hot ticket before the Final 4.
And which region is that one in?
I want to say it's the Midwest.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, it's going to be, I think they've got, I read that Caitlin Clark has got her own dedicated reporter just to follow her throughout the entire tournament, because obviously...
Well, this is going to be a documentary.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And it'd be interesting to see, maybe, get LSU another national championship, but...
no.
You think South Carolina's got it?
Well, okay.
Or is it destiny for Caitlin Clark to finally get one?
No, I think Caitlin Clark's going to make it to the finals, and they're going to lose to South Carolina.
Okay.
Or unless they match up in the Final 4. But I think Caitlin Clark's going to take care of LSU this year. It really depends upon really kind of one thing. Well, not just the outside shooting for LSU being there, because they'll need that, but also the fouls called. Because you start calling fouls on LSU, and it's going to disrupt their game, and then Iowa's going to take it away. But if you don't call fouls, guess what? LSU, they're a physical team.
Oh,
they could win that game, but I think Iowa's going to get it, and then South Carolina's going to win it all.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
I like USC versus USC for the title.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be a fun one. I mean, yeah,
hey,
Lady Trojans are playing well.
Mississippi State. The 2 MSUs are playing each other. They got to... Who owns the name of MSU?
Yeah, about to find out. That'll be cool. Hey, well, Jeff, we appreciate your call very much. Have you signed up for the ESPN Northwest Florida Big Bracket Challenge?
No, I will, but y'all got to get James Hale to get in there, too, because I don't think he wants to do it. But, you never know who can win. Even women can win.
Hey, that's the thing about this thing is, you don't have to know anything about college basketball, and you could still go and win the group, win the tournament in your group. That's for sure. That is for sure.
Yep.
We'll pull his arm. We'll get him in there. That's for sure. All right, Jeff, we appreciate you listening and appreciate the phone call, and we'll talk soon, I'm sure.
Okay, take it easy, guys.
All right, take it easy. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida. We're taking the Inside Drive.
Bringing back an NHL team to Atlanta.
I like the persistency. I mean, nothing has stuck. I mean, we went Thrashers.
I love the Thrashers. I used to get to see the Devils twice a year.
We've gone through quite a few teams in the Atlanta area, but hey, persistency's good.
Yeah.
Join Ryan Mulvey.
Thank you very little.
Middays 11 to 1 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Ellis Agency Insurance has been serving Panama City and Bay County for years. They offer a full line of affordable insurance coverage of all types. Many people are attracted to Ellis Agency Insurance because of their friendly, knowledgeable staff. Call independent agent Johnny Ellis for a true comparison of your personal or business insurance. Ellis Agency Insurance at the Old Cullen Insurance location, 1134 Harrison Avenue, across from Dandy Donuts and Deli. Call 763-1627. It's time for a new kitchen from Kitchen Designs. Kitchen Designs in Panama City Beach and Santa Rosa Beach offers full service cabinets, countertops, and flooring. Cash and carry cabinets available the next day. Kitchen Designs has been family owned and operated for over 20 years. Ask for your free cutting board with any purchase through March 10th. Call Kitchen Designs 850-775-4150 or stop by their showroom 7934 Front Beach Road and on Lynn Drive in Santa Rosa Beach. It's time to pick your path and go big and go bold from Bill Bird Kia. You can drive away in a brand new 2024 Telluride from Bill Bird Kia. The 2024 Telluride protects what matters, and it's built for the long haul. Its technology will connect with confidence, and its upscale, all-around rugged look will take you on to the next adventure. The road is yours. Bill Bird Kia, the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us today at 2435 East 15th Street or BillBirdKia.com.
From the Auburn Sports Network, Alpha Insurance presents Auburn Sports Today. Here's Brad Law.
The Auburn Tigers are your SEC tournament champions. Stephen Pearl with Andy Burcham after the game.
Second SEC